This box contains Hepco and Becker lower engine guards and upper tank guards for my 2024 F900GS, and this is my step-by-step installation video. I hope you find it helpful. I started by popping off the plastic clip that holds the O2 sensor wire on the right side of the bike. Then I screwed in what they call the silent blocks on both sides of the bike using blue Loctite. It's important to note that the left side calls for a 4x3mm washer, which is included with the hardware packet. On the upper right side, I removed the OEM upper suspension screw. This screw won't be needed for the rest of the installation. It's going to get replaced by a new screw that's included in the kit. Next, I installed the engine guard using the 12x100 hex screw and a washer. I added the 13x8 spacer between the bar and the frame. I used blue Loctite again to secure the connection. Got everything secure, but not too tight yet because I plan to go back over everything with a torque wrench at the end of the installation. The lower end of the engine bar gets secured with a 10x35 Allen screw and a washer. There's also a spacer that needs to go between the new bar and the engine block. And again, I tightened everything just a bit to take out the slack. On the left side, I removed the OEM upper suspension screw, which is actually recessed a bit, so it required a ratchet extension, and I used a T55 Torx. More blue Loctite on a 12x80 hex screw, another washer, and a huge 22x13x6 spacer between the new bar and the frame. Then I got that tightened up a bit. The lower left requires a 10x35 Allen screw, 2 washers, and a self-locking M10 nut. I had to use an open-end wrench on the self-locking nut to prevent it from spinning as I was getting everything tightened. Next, I mounted what they call the bracing bow to both the left and right side silent blocks, those black blocks that were installed during the first step, with 8x12 Allen screws and washers. I learned that I had to leave these connections pretty loose to be able to match up the top section of the bracing bow with the holes on the inside of the bars at both ends. Those all got secured with 4 8x16 Allen screws and washers. On to the upper crash bars, or what they call tank guards. I had to remove 2 screws on the cockpit mounting, as well as the single screw on the steering dampener. The 2 OEM screws at the top are no longer needed, but you do need to keep and reuse the main screw that secures the steering dampener to the bike. Then I reattached the steering dampener to the bike and the upper bar mount with the OEM screw, the supplied spacer, and the black rubber washer. I removed the left side OEM screw from the frame and engine. The instructions tell you to work on one side at a time to prevent the risk of the engine block changing position, which is actually kind of scary. They tell you to start on the left side and then move to the right side once the left is completely secure. Next, I inserted the 13x55 spacer between the bracket and the frame, and then attached the left bar to the frame and engine block with the supplied 12x100 hex bolt and washer. I got it just finger tight for now because I wanted to make sure to leave enough slack to attach the bars at the top. I attached the top of the left bar to the bracket at the top with an 8x20 Allen screw, washer, and a lock nut. Then I attached the plastic connector that will eventually connect to the bar on the right side. On the right side, I attached the top of the right bar to the left bar utilizing the plastic connector in the middle. And then I attached the bar to the bracket with the 8x20 Allen bolt, a washer, and a lock nut. The bottom of the bar on the right side was attached with the 12x100 hex bolt and washer. There's a 13x8 spacer that goes between the bracket and the frame. I torqued everything to the correct specifications. The kit comes with a card that gives you the correct torque specs based on the size of each bolt. Once everything was torqued, I added the black M12 cover caps to finish it off. The installation was pretty straightforward and simple. Just be sure to attach everything loose initially to make it easier to make all of the required connections before tightening. The bars look great and they seem sturdy and protective. Huge shout out to Ed at Moto Machines for helping me find the right bars for my new F900. Thank you.